31.2.
Okay.
Lance, you got a subject.
I have a subject now, and that is, I'm obsessed with this one thing, and that is that Rick has less and less reason to justify voting Democrat, because as we talk, I find out that most of the reason he's voting Democrat, I believe, is because of myths. And one of the myths is that Democrats are nicer to black people. And it turns out that this week, they found out that in Libya, they've begun slavery of black people again. And now, why would that happen? Well, you see, in 2011, Obama and Hillary Clinton got this great idea. They were going to overthrow Gaddafi and leave no one in charge of Libya. So they did. Gaddafi was killed, and then, like typical Democrats, the United States did nothing after that. They just left Libya open. It's now a failed state, and it's a major base for Al-Qaeda and terrorist groups of various kinds, and they brought back slavery to black people.
All right, I'll give you failed state, and I'll believe you when you say they brought slavery back, but to say that Democrats wanted that slavery to happen is a huge reach.
Well, you see, Rick, that's the point of being a leader. We're not trying to judge people's souls. See, that's the whole point. Democrats think that if their motives are good, like, we Democrats really love black people, and Republicans, they're bad, they don't like black people, then it doesn't matter that they left Libya in complete chaos with thousands and thousands of black people being sold into slavery. It's all the Democrats' fault.
Well, everything is,
right?
right?
No, Bush was nowhere near it. Trump
Okay.
wasn't in office. It had nothing to do. The Democrats even controlled Congress.
Okay, so it's on the Democrats.
But you'll still vote Democrat.
Yeah, well,
Because they care about black people, right?
well,
They don't care about these black people in Libya that are being sold into slavery.
I'll tell you one thing that voting Democrat might do is the Democrats own the government right now. They own the presidency.
No,
They
the
own-
Republicans.
What?
The Republicans.
The Republicans own the presidency. They own both houses of Congress. They own most state legislatures and they have
governorships and the Supreme Court.
Yeah, just everything.
Yeah.
And when one party, particularly the Republicans, has too much control, not enough checks and balances, you get not the best results, like this tax bill.
All right, wait a minute. Wait. Are we done talking about those poor people, those poor black people in Libya that the Democrats caused to be sold into slavery
Well, all I
by
can do,
thousands?
all I can do is agree with you on some of that, which is that it turned out to be a huge fuck up.
By the Democrats, both Hillary and Clinton.
Okay, yeah.
The people I was supposed to vote for, according to you.
All right, so
The people that love blacks.
all right, Gaddafi was a terrible guy.
Okay.
But the deal, what we've learned, apparently, from recent history is that sometimes having a terrible dictator in place is better than taking out the dictator without adequate plans for post-dictator.
What do you mean we learned?
Oh, come on, let's not...
I knew it was a stupid idea. The Republicans knew it was a stupid idea.
Then defend Iraq, where we did the same thing.
We've been sitting here for 9 months where I've been telling you that Obama pulling the troops out is what led to the chaos and defeat.
Except that what initially led
You
to...
can
No, let's not... We don't have time to have the same fucking
I'm talking
argument
about
again.
Libya. I'm talking about Libya. It was the Democrats that planned removing Gaddafi, and after they removed him, if they'd have put 25,000 troops in Libya, they could have established a stable democracy.
Maybe so.
Not maybe.
You need to... I'm pretty much agreeing with you, so do you need to yell at me when I'm agreeing with you?
I can't. You're arguing with me. You want to talk about all this crap, and you want me to vote for Hillary.
You're never
after
gonna,
she did that.
You're never going to, well, A, she's never going to run again, and B, you're never going to vote for fucking Hillary, so just...
No. I want you to explain to me how they can go into a country, destroy it, have no plan, and then get all these people killed and put into slavery, and you're going to vote for him again, and I'm a stupid guy because I won't. Are you just stubborn?
Libya was a fuck-up. So was Iraq at various times.
You're bringing up Iraq.
But, all right, so fucking... We don't have time for...
We never have time when it looks like you've got to admit what a terrible, terrible party the Democrats are. How irresponsible, confused, cruel, lacking in sympathy. You know, when he saw that country falling apart, Obama had 5 more years to go in and try to solve the problem. Did he give a shit? No. Did you give a shit? Did any Democrat say, let's go in and help those people in Libya? Of course not. And yet you think that the Democrats are morally superior to the Republicans? And that they have more compassion?
In some ways. I mean...
In some ways.
Or I don't give a shit about compassion as much as their...
Hearts are in the right place?
No, they're better at running the country. But, so get all yelly and shit, but like, what...
I'm not yelling at you. I am indignant.
Wait, that often includes yelling.
No, I can yell.
Okay.
Okay, listen.
All right,
listen.
let's...
This is righteous. Here, look, I'll say it very calmly. Rick, your party caused thousands of people in Libya to be killed and enslaved. For no reason. None of it had to happen. But you don't care. You'd still vote for him.
Well, yeah, I would, but I'm agreeing with you that Libya was a fuck-up.
Well, if they make decisions that poor that thousands of people die, doesn't it occur to you, I'm going to say this calmly, that maybe they have poor judgment?
They have mixed judgment.
Mixed? They're very good on what? Transgender bathrooms.
I don't give a crap about gender.
But that was their main topic. They're very strong on transgender bathrooms.
Not, I mean, no, that's a distracting...
They're very strong. It's all Obama talked about the last 6 months he was in office.
No, he didn't.
No, I heard about it every day.
Not from Obama.
Oh, yeah. He's very much in favor of transgender bathrooms. I remember. It's very important that we allow people into the bathroom that claim to be women.
And I could say
that identify
from your
that
people,
code
it's
feminine.
very important that people have the freedom not to make cakes for gay marriages.
No, it's very important that if we knock out a dictator in a country, we support that
Then why do I
decision
hear about these
with
fucking...
30,000 troops and make it into a stable democracy instead of leaving it for terrorists and slavers.
Then how come I hear so much more about Hobby Lobby's right to not provide birth control?
Because that's all the media wants to talk about. They're conveniently ignoring the Democrat failure. Look what's happened to you, Rick. A whole country was destroyed right in front of you. I knew this was happening 5 years ago. You never gave it a second of thought until we were standing here right now. And it's not because you're stupid, it's because the media doesn't want you to think about that. A whole country. They didn't tell you. And now we find out a UN investigation that they've gone back to slavery like 300 years ago. People are being turned into slaves, particularly black people. They're avoiding the Arabs. It's the blacks they want. And Obama knew this was happening. Obama knew, and he did nothing. And I'm supposed to believe he has good judgment and compassion?
No, you're supposed to believe he had mixed judgment, that he did some things pretty well and he fucked up other ways.
Yeah, he did some things
All right,
pretty
all right,
well,
all right.
brought slavery back to Libya. It's a balance. No, he was okay on gay bathrooms and gender issues, but kind of screwed up on slavery in Africa. Thousands of people are turned into slaves. Men get to use the women's bathroom. He was great on that. He was great. It all balances out. Thank you, Rick. You've clarified everything. Your issue. You have the floor.
Now let's talk about the taxes on this. Now, do you believe in trickle-down economics?
Yes.
Why? Because since trickle-down economics began in earnest under Reagan, right?
Just make your point.
All right, I don't disagree. A corporate tax cut from 35%, a simplified tax code makes sense if you could do it. A corporate tax cut makes sense if it encourages corporations that have trillions of dollars in profits being held outside the country so they don't have to pay U.S. taxes on them. If it brings some of those assets back via a corporate tax cut, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can hope that the assets brought back into the country will lead to corporations building more factories and providing more jobs. But 30 years of trickle-down economics shows that what mostly happens is that when you give rich people and rich corporations more money, there's not so much trickle down, and there's a lot of saving or a lot of returning value to shareholders through stuff like stock buybacks. So you can try a corporate tax cut, but the other side of which this Republican tax bill, or both forms, the form in the House and the form in the Senate, make corporate tax cuts permanent, but they make personal tax cuts evaporate right after the various elections. Some of these tax cuts go away after the election of 2018. Some of them go away after the election of 2020. The cuts for individuals, for people, are diminish year by year until they're gone after 10 years. The corporate tax cuts are permanent.
Do you know why that would be?
Well, I know that. All right, well, you tell me why.
Because if you're going to build a factory in the U.S. and employ thousands of people, you want to make sure that the factory stays open long enough and that the Democrats don't come in and change the law and fuck you again. That's why it's got to last longer, because you're building a factory that might exist for 50 years.
So you can't, instead of reducing corporate taxes from 35 to 20, you can't reduce them from 35 to 23 and make some of the individual tax cuts permanent?
Look, all I know is every country in the world, including Sweden, which is a model for Democrats, is at 20. It may be 22. The point is that there's no logical reason not to lower this corporate tax thing. It's obviously a bad idea, promulgated by Democrats, and it has to be changed.
Wait, so what's the bad idea? Keeping it at 35% or something?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody
It crushes growth.
Well, I don't think anybody's running around saying keep it at 35%.
Well, the Democrats are.
I haven't heard it from them.
Well, they're the ones that made it this way. It was 8 years. Under Obama, it's been 35%.
And it was 35% before that, too. It's not like they raised it to 35%.
I don't know that. I don't know that. And it's not one single Democrat voted in favor of this.
Well, because there's so much other bad crap in it.
But the tax cut is made for a specific purpose. This year, we're going to lower the corporate tax rate. That's the whole point of this tax bill.
Then
it's not for anything else but to lower the corporate tax rate.
Then why not just lower the corporate tax rate without doing the rest of this stuff that turns out to be this whole package of other stuff that turns out to be a mixed, crazy bag?
Yeah, it is. It is. Because the politicians in Washington are a bunch of assholes, both the Democrats and the Republicans. And the reason I'm for this thing is because I want corporate tax rates lowered, and then next year we can look at other ways of improving things.
Yeah,
but if I don't get something improved, then we will remain in Obama stagnation. We'll remain with Democrat policies that ruin the economy. So we have to do something, and this is a start. It's not, there are so many bad things about this tax policy that I would never have presented it, except because I have to live with it. I'm looking at the advantages of it, and one is that they're going to lower the corporate tax rate, and the second is they may get rid of the Obama mandate tax.
You love that.
Yeah, I love those two things. So that'll destroy Obamacare, and it'll bring industry back to the United States. I'll take the consequences.
Wait, so I kind of hear that we agree that there's a bunch of shitty stuff in this tax.
There are all kinds of things I don't like about it. There's nothing I can do about it, and it's not Trump's fault.
The deal is that we have limited battery power for this session, so we're going really fast. But I just heard us agree, so I think let's take a break. We agree.
Okay.